All right. I think we are back in track. I'm going to wait for this coming along. I have to deliver it anyway because otherwise I have to do it again. About this program, and then which I've already do it all the times. So we will be sharing this with you regardless of and then I'm sure that some of you may be able to answer the question I'm able to answer the question later on, but I'll just do it anyway. Otherwise I can't rest for the Christmas. And this is the statistic showing how many people actually got permanent visa approval, right? This is for weeks ending 29th of January 2021. We only have 1,149 people got to the visa group, yeah, and that is the response time. And this is GTR application. They received about 7,000, and visa grant was 4,253. Anyway, okay. Now, I'm sorry, some of them are already waiting in the program. I have to apologize because I have this technical issue, and then there was no sound whatsoever, and then I was actually doing. Can you believe that I'm doing this all myself? Right. I will check to see whether we have this going on. Yeah, is it this one? All right. Is this working? Okay, at least I can see myself here. Okay, right. Okay, we have one viewer. Okay, I'll just wait a bit to see that is done, and now I'll just pretend we have thousands of audience listening to this fantastic news about the Global Talent Task Force. I'm sorry, I'm very unprepared. I've been working whole day today, and I didn't have COVID, but I got some cold for 2 days. I went to swimming and got cold. I think it's just because I thought, oh, this is Christmas, I'll just take a break. And then every time I would like to take a break, then I get sick. All right. Okay, so this program is about global talent. And then obviously I have helped quite a lot of candidates. And then I'll be sharing some of my tips next year. This year being crazy, and this is the craziest day I'm experiencing about the technical problem. I'm just assuming that we have thousands of audience, and thank you very much for coming today. We had a disaster about half an hour ago, and then there was no sound. But I was just pretending that we have thousands of audience. I just didn't deliver as I promised. I really tried to do it. Now, what time is it? I'm in Australia, and Brisbane time is about 9 o'clock. And for the early this year until now, it's a whole year, we have more than 200, I think 220 people got permanent visa approval. And just so crazy that I don't have time. I really want to share more information online. I know some of them use this information to launch themselves, which is fantastic too. So just let me know if you have anything that you have any question after this recording. You'll be recorded anyway. Yes, anyway, so here we will go to the eligibility. This is new, although it might look like this is actually the very old. You don't know where to check. You can scroll down. Checking this. Sorry, I was checking this. Guides for priority skills and roles. And for guys, for this one, which you'll be really looking at what setup we're talking about, health and science. Okay. Health and science. Okay. So health and science, and then for the health and science, we have two categories. One is strong candidates, and then one is exceptional candidate. What is considered a strong candidate? Again, I just mentioned that that's not actually no difference in terms of a strong or exceptional candidates. It will be a difference. It will be a difference if this candidate is from somewhere else, so let's say India. The time, if someone is an exceptional candidate, they will process within weeks. If someone is strong candidate, they will process within 6 months. That is the difference. If you are coming from Hong Kong, that's actually no difference, because your case will be prioritized anyway, which means you'll receive feedback within 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so I'll be sharing this one. Okay, and exceptional candidate, the reason being said that is really because when the department published this global talent, the bar is really high. This is called global talent or independent, globally recognized talents. People just don't apply because they think, oh, I'm not the first, 1% of the scientist. Obviously, indeed, we are looking for someone who's 1%. Yeah, that is called exceptional. But we are also working for someone who's strong candidates, right? For instance, we are looking for biomedical engineers, right? With expertise in medical applications. We are neuroscientists. We have someone who's clinical trial manager, right? Or from someone who's researcher, or someone who's actually does not have a science background. But this type of candidate won't be eligible, just to let you know. Aged care workers, 100% no. Nurses, physiotherapists, we have a lot of people ask me about that. I have really told them, no, physiotherapist is not considered a GTI. If your position is about physiotherapy, then that's not okay. Dentist, retail pharmacist, or general practitioner. Although we have helped quite a lot of candidates working in the marketing area, so which they can get invitation. If they can get invitation if they're working, let's say, marketing, distribute some kind of drugs, or educate the market about some kind of drugs. Then that will be okay. That should be all right to have that. Okay, so some of cases we did before. I can give you example of that. Here it says. Here we go. We got some example here. I must admit that that's my error. I should be taken more seriously because but most of the time I end up doing the works myself. And display set. Okay, there we go. So this type of global talent, it's actually, you can get permanent job within 6 months. Majority of them got 4 months, which is very common as well. And so for me, I help more than 210. I think we have 220 already got permanent visa. I lived in Australia and UK more than 20 years. I actually came from China. I have a really good understanding political. I think culture is really, really important for me to understand what they think, what they are looking for, and the whole English legal system. All right, here there's actually no visa condition. Our new fantastic news for GTR candidate is that they can now actually become Australian citizen after 2 years of holding global talent visa. Okay, that's called ministerial discretion. You can actually get permanent visa after 2. And we have one candidate who voluntarily trying to go through this requirement, and I will update it to you how's the process. They should be able to get it within 6 months as well. Now, the eligibility really going through all the sectors, and they are looking not for one type of people. They're looking for graduates, professionals, executives, or startups, co-founders. In that sense, I think looking for someone is even they are not an employee, right? And sectors, within the sectors, we are really focused on health and life science. Life science, you can see that aged care is actually within that, okay? So but you cannot be aged care, someone who's a care. Health IT, IT system, medical technology, pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical companies really not saying you're a pharmacist, you're working in a retail shop. It's really about how can you promote medications, how you educate the market about the potential illness. We have quite helped lots of companies. Some of them have pharmaceutical companies here. For instance, some of them here we have. We don't have. Yeah, we do have. Yes. Majority of them actually it's actually technology related, isn't it? So we go into health. Healthcare can include a few areas: clinical trials, pharmaceuticals, point of care diagnosis, medical devices, and then disease prevention or entrepreneurship. So it has to be something that you think that skill be needed in Australia. So if let's say if your skill is not highly demanded in Australia, or it can be taken by someone else easily, then that won't be eligible. For someone, for instance, if they are general practitioner, then they won't be able to be eligible for GTI. But they are, say, surgeon, okay, eye surgeon, right, lung surgeon. So who actually specialize in something, a specialist. So practitioner specialize something can be eligible. We have quite a lot of people got permanents under this pathway. They are not general practitioner, they are specialists. Obviously, we're able to see that earning power is really strong. Some of them have $500,000 Australian earning power. So that's very, very common for that. We have quite a lot of candidates in different sectors. Some of them doesn't meet income requirements. Others might not necessarily within the 10 sectors. The one area I think we want to focus is really about what happens is these candidates, cases that you're not within that, the cases you have is not within any of the 10 sectors. So what would be your chance to say, hey, I'm not sure, what am I going to do? I've already done the work for 20 years. Then what is the purpose for the department to say this at all? The most important part, it is not to say, I need to change, or I don't, or give up as a whole. There's something that department really want to see. How can you tell them that what you're gonna do in Australia? Some of the candidates approach us to say, hey, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a job in Australia. So you're gonna need to be very specific, right? What company, which company, what position, how much you are able to earn, why do you think you're capable to do that? Or you can't say, I can contribute to tax. Well, if you have $500,000, I'm sure that's impressive. But if we don't have $500,000 income per year, then how much tax is actually make you significant? Therefore, it's not really saying something like I'm good enough. It's really saying I'm better than someone else's who's just junior, right? I'm better. In this regard, we have someone, for instance, successful cases. Medical device, someone who's actually an engineer, software engineer, okay? But her skill is really about writing prevention of hearing aid, a device about hearing aid. Now the hearing aids really need to diagnose what kind of sounds they hear, the patients can hear. So she write that program for that device. And that works, yeah. She got invitation. Okay, she's an Indian. She's currently in US. Pharmaceuticals. We have a lot of candidates working in this industry, pharmaceuticals. Some of them do have a science background, just a natural science background. But others, they don't. They might have a background in business, management, or some of the unrelated sectors. Okay. Pharmaceutical companies where we have marketing or regional marketing director, for instance. Marketing, someone who's working in marketing. Marketing is actually not necessarily saying needing to sales, just to educate the market. And our focus really about how they actually educate market. Education is really important for pharmaceuticals because they have to have this awareness, isn't it? The market, the patients have to have this awareness of doing that. So marketing is one area, and sales is also another area. For pharmaceutical companies, sales is actually not in relation to point sale. This is really to sign a contract with doctors, with practitioners, with hospitals. So that's about sales part. And for the disease prevention, it's really about research. 3D printings, we have someone working there. And digital health, for instance, someone working in hospital authority, digital health or health IT system. Okay, they can get permanent visa as well. So that's one case. And clinical trials. So today I'll just, because I'm here anyway, I'll just do it. I'm sorry because of the technical problem, but I'll do another one next year, and just to have more prepared. I'm so sorry about that. It's been working whole day. So clinical trials, we have clinical trial manager, whose job is about recruitment of patients. They can get permanent visa as well. Biostatistics, okay, about genome sequencing statistics. It's really about stats. Okay, we also have a data scientist in this area. They can get permanent visa under this as well. We also have a professor who's working in chemistry department. Okay, a professor of a chemistry department. Okay, professor of chemistry. And then we put, he's currently still working in university. His work, obviously, won't have many publications lately really about that because, a professor being in many years is really managing the department. So professor working chemistry. Chemistry is highly related to health, right? If your area is in chemistry, it's although at the time he approached us, he said, I won't put myself into education sector. No, it's actually health. Okay, so health. For other healthcare entrepreneurship, we have some candidates. They have been, they are specialists or they're specialists. But in a way, if they cannot practice in Australia, then it's really hard for them to demonstrate how they're going to benefit Australia. So how to go with this one? For instance, if you have work you have to register in Australia, but it's really hard for you because you have to take another exam. Now, that way, we want them to say, about this, have you thought anything in the future? How your skill going to help? If you're not able to go back to the old occupation, the position, then we really focus on entrepreneurship. How can you do that differently about healthcare? In terms of healthcare, Australia government's really interested about aging people population. So aged care. So in terms of aged care, how to monitor, how to allow the aged people that live in a life that's with a lot of dignity, or community care where they stay at home. They don't need to go to the aging facility because it costs a lot. So the aged people can stay at home, but how can you give care to them? to monitor whether they need assistance or not. So this kind of entrepreneurship, this time entrepreneurs can get permanent visa approved as well. Some of the examples of I've just mentioned that digital health, or another one, commercialization experience health industry. Again, it's about entrepreneurship. It's about how can we use the concept and then commercialize? Who's going to use that? Lots of really in area, for instance, I just mentioned about hearing aid, right? Australia has a startup companies doing hearing aid, where so someone who's actually deaf, who's able to wear a really same handset, and they will allow this voice to be read to them with a different type of voice, right? Male, female, different accent, and so they can enhance their experience of about voice, and that's really successful. They went to public listing. The share is not really good now. I'm not sure, but they're working really, really good. How they do it's actually they are not working with the patients directly. They're working for these organizations, provide the help for deaf people, right? So this is a really good example of that as well. Some of that maybe we have, if we distinguish three areas in health, three. One, it's really about hard science, right? Practitioner, disease prevention, diagnostic, medicine, really about that. Okay, pharmaceutical. We have someone who's working as a pricing manager in a pharmaceutical company, and that's all right too. So one area is about science. Another one, it's really about care. Okay, healthcare itself, but it cannot be. It must be technology related. Why we have to say technology? Even what you're doing is not highly related to technology. Let's say that, but we should be able to really ask our questions how we can make it technology related, and why it's important, because this can have improvement of system at scale. That's what they look for. So let's say if you're a nurse, then they'll say you, because you care point to point, you care to one person. And general practitioner, they're really doing good. Maybe Australia needs them as well, but GTR won't be inviting them. But if you say your skill set is really unique, and that you specialize something, we have pain specialists. We have someone who's actually practicing Chinese medicine. You think that's really hard to get GTR. But we figured out he actually really focused about care, about someone who's been diagnosed with cancer, how to manage their pain. So pain management improve the patient's experience, right? About care, or after surgery treatment, right? This kind of care, and that's really important. It's fascinating when I when we did the case. It's really, really great. So this is how care. Care can be really say patient's care. It can be aged people's care. It can be general care system, or you can say, hey, I have a few care, aged care facilities, right? I own a few aged care facilities. I have this way where I can improve their life quality, or how to do that. So it's about commercialization in that. That's the second one. Third one is really about devices. Medical devices, including hearing aid, including something, I think someone's mentioned to we had a case who's actually, later on we actually put him under data science. His work's really about working with this insurance company to figure out how much weight that people can have when they lift up things, okay, and what angle, right, to prevent these kind of accident. Okay, this is about physical health. Okay, physical health. So that's a few areas we can really check. So I'll just leave some areas here. I'm sure we have some. I have some kind of okay. I'll see if I have someone ask me questions. Sorry about that. And we'll do a proper one next year. I started rush this year, and I started very rushed this year with 2021. and was really busy. And now we have 2 days before Christmas, and we're still having lots of files. We have quite a few invitations these 2 weeks, and I couldn't possibly do that. We have 5 invitations these few weeks. Couldn't possibly get it in a large application within a few days. Just want to make it really good. But if you're in a health sector and you're not sure about whether you can, eligible for that, simply just send me an email, and then I'll go from there or review your application. Generally speaking, I want to really share with you that the department is more flexible now. They can invite anyone who's actually not within any of the sectors here. Okay, none of you don't. So these sectors, it's just so long. So the department mentioned to us it's not possible for them to include everything. Some of the sectors might not. The difference would be, again, the processing time may be slower if you're not within of any of those sectors. Okay, that and then, but if you can tell me something that's quite unique, I'm sure if it's really interesting, and I have an actual curiosity about whoever's doing what. So if you're not within any of sectors, please communicate. I think this is a fantastic program anyway. Besides that, department also announced about the citizenship pathway, where candidates can actually get permanent visa, citizenship after 2 years. This is called ministerial discretion. So, all right, I think that'll be all right. I'll leave a few minutes here if you have any questions. Yeah, okay. 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 So to wrap up about the Citizenship Act, you can share. I'm sharing this here. Yeah, I'm sharing this here. This is the enforced superseded version, which is updated one, right? Registered here, but announced just a few days ago, about how to who can actually become Australian citizen. One of that, it's really about I think it's really about the minister's direction, right? Minister's direction. We're checking about this one. Special travel outside, yes, tend to be. So this is really saying if someone who can actually demonstrate they need to travel, which of course you say so, they need to travel Australia, that's in and out Australia. So which allow them to really apply Australian citizenship after 2 years instead of 4. So when you check down, this is really good legislation. It's really long, but and this is a new art. 22B, special resident requirement. Person engaged in particular kind of work requiring travel outside Australia. What is a particular kind of work? Obviously, it's this global talent work, right? When you declare that what your occupation, that's work, that's kind of work. As long as you say that you require general traveling, not traveling, or the company need you to stay there, well, you say so, then you can request that. I think that's really good for lots of our candidates, where if they do not wish to station in Australia, they can apply this pathway. All right, and thank you very much, and thank you for your patience. Merry Christmas. I hope next year will be a lot of prosperity, less work, more money, next work, and everybody achieve their dream. And thank you very much. I see you next year. Bye. Bye. Yes, yes, yes.